Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. And we're going to start our yin practice seated actually. So go ahead and find a comfortable seat. You can sit on your block, you can sit on a blanket. I actually really like to sit on my blanket just to be able to raise the hips a little bit. And as you come to a comfortable seat, have the soles of your feet touching, let the knees go wide apart from each other. And make it really easy on yourself. So let the heels come away a little bit from your groin so you have more of a diamond shape instead of a really tight butterfly. And then just let the arms rest on top of your knees. Close your eyes for just a moment. Let the shoulders relax. And just feel yourself seated. Feel your body grounded. Feel the sits bones on your mat or on your blanket, and then just begin to notice the sensations in the body, the hips, the ankles, the wrists, the shoulders, the back of the neck, and just feel this sensation of just sitting. And then even once you observe your breath, your thoughts, without pushing anything away or rejecting it or getting attached to anything, just allow the thoughts to come and go. Just like if you're watching the waves of the ocean come in and come and go. You're not really trying to stop anything or change anything or shape anything. We're just kind of like reflect, we're like a mirror reflecting what is going on outside. And the thoughts are the same exact way. And then gently blink your eyes open, please. This time bring your heels a little bit closer to your buttocks, cross your ankles. And then take one of your blocks, if you're using a block, put it on the right hand side. And you're just going to take your right elbow on top of that block. And the left arm can come all the way up, and you can put the left hand in the back of your head. So start really easy, right? So we're not really going to the edge yet. We just want to kind of creep up a little bit at a time and give the body its own time to open up. So this is really important to know in yin. We're not really forcing anything. We just want the body to slowly begin to open up. All those connective tissues slowly begin to expand and relax, so that maybe then we choose to go a little bit deeper. So as you breathe into that left side body, really feel the expansion. You might begin to feel a little bit of an opening in that side, and maybe you begin to change the height of your block. So bringing the elbow down again, or maybe you just have the hand down, that's okay too. And now that you've been here for a couple minutes, maybe you can begin to rotate the torso, the rib cage up a little bit towards the ceiling. Your gaze is soft. You're just gently looking straight ahead, or maybe looking up towards the ceiling. But notice the tendency to want to reach for something or hone in on something. Can you be like an open space, receiving everything and letting go of everything? So we're always receiving and letting go. We're receiving our inhales and exhaling out. You can't just continue to receive, or give and give and give. This is the beauty of life, to be able to, of human existence, to be able to receive and let go. And then if that left arm is getting a little heavy, maybe you want to lower that left arm down. Just pause here for a little bit more. Take a nice deep breath into that left side body. And then gently begin to press yourself up. And as you press yourself up, uncross your ankles and cross the other ankle in front. And then you're going to take your block to the opposite side, side B. And initially just sit tall, notice what's happening in that right side. Maybe you would like to bring the elbow down and kind of play with it. See if you want to raise the height of your block a little bit. This side is completely different from the other side. So maybe this side is a little more open, maybe it's not. Just play with that block height and see where you want to go. And then raise the right arm, put the right hand behind your head, and just stay here. Just commit to staying here for a couple of minutes. Let the shoulders be soft. And breathe into that right side. Remember, the right side is where liver is living, so it's right under the diaphragm on the right side, just behind the rib cage here. So you're kind of opening a little space for that liver, and that gives joy and openness to the liver. So you kind of maybe smile at your liver. This beautiful, beautiful, amazing organ that does so much in the body to detoxify, to get rid of the toxins, to metabolize glucose. There's so much that the liver does from day in and day out. And then if you like to notice, if you want to now rotate your torso a little bit higher towards the ceiling, maybe you want to lower that block a little bit, and just take your gaze to the side wall or up towards the ceiling. And send some nice deep breaths into that right side body. There's this beautiful inner wisdom inside the body. So we only really get an opportunity to hear it when we become still. And this is why this practice of yin yoga is so precious. While we're opening up the connective tissues and stretching out the body, we're also giving it the opportunity to show us, guide us to the minutiae, to the nuances of what it needs. Maybe it needs more breath. Maybe it needs more water. Maybe it needs to rest. Maybe it needs to be active. And we don't get those messages unless we take the time to listen in. And then slowly begin to press yourself up, nice and easy. Just sit tall for a moment. Take your legs wide apart from each other, please. And for this one, if you have a couple of blankets, I suggest that you put it under your knees. I don't have 2 blankets here with me, but I'm going to take my blocks and put it under my knees. So I want my knees to be slightly flexed. And then inhale deeply, lift the chest, and exhale, just begin to bring your torso forward. So now, really think about lengthening the spine back behind you. Can you send your tailbone towards the back wall as the spine is long and the chest is lifted? Then you can bring your elbows on top of your thighs, and if that's too far, you can just rest your hands on top of your thighs. With the knees bent, bend them as much as you can so you may be able to bring your elbows on top of your thighs. And then let the chin drop to your chest. That allows you to lengthen the back of the neck, stretching out the scaling muscles in the back of the neck. Maybe the trapezius muscles in the shoulders. Just drop the chin down, close the eyes. Send your breath all the way down to your tailbone. Nice deep inhalation and long exhales. And then sit tall, please. And turn your torso towards the right knee. And take that left elbow on the inside of the left leg. Take your right hand to your left rib cage and gently begin to roll the rib cage up towards the ceiling. Then you can take the left hand behind you. Maybe the left hand, the back of the hand comes to your low back. Maybe if you have a little bit more shoulder range of motion, you can take that hand and find your right thigh or left thigh, excuse me. And then just continue to twist, rotating the torso towards the right. Yeah, really be mindful that that right shoulder is not coming up to the ear. Let the right shoulder just rest down away from the ear. And then as you're inhaling, you can begin to lengthen the spine a little bit. As you exhale, you can begin to twist a little bit more. But really, I'm just going to invite you to go as far as it feels good. As far as it feels good. Once you get to that point, just pause. Much of the yin practice is the not doing. So in our active young practice, we're moving through shapes, we're shape-shifting, we're working the breath, we're working the body. And in our young practice, in our yin practice, we're much more receptive, introspective. We really focus a little bit more on not doing. And we just wait and see. We just observe the body and we wait and we wait. And then once the body is ready, it will open the door and you can step through it a little bit deeper. And then gently, we're going to come out of the pose. So try not to sit up right away really quickly. You want to press yourself up first and then untwist. Turn your torso to the front and just stay here for just a moment to neutralize the spine. Then you begin to turn your torso towards the left. And then bring that right elbow on the inside of the right knee. Pause here for a moment. Now take your left hand to your right rib cage as you roll the rib cage up towards the ceiling, just a little bit at a time. We're not really cranking it, you're just turning to see if it goes anywhere. Once you get there, you take that left arm and put it on your low back. And then maybe some of you can even walk that the left fingertips towards your right thighs. And that allows for a little bit more shoulder opening here. So once you get there, then just kind of breathe into the spine. You are, in this pose, you are laterally bent, so a lateral side bend of the spine, and at the same time you're twisting. So it's providing you with a deep structure of the spine twist, but at the same time, muscles of the erectors are involved, so you're also twisting the erector muscles, the erector spinae muscles. So there's a lot of work here. You certainly don't want to do it quickly. You want to go one step at a time. And then notice you've been here for a little bit, so maybe you can twist a little bit deeper. Maybe your gaze can go to the side wall or the ceiling. Just wherever you are, breathe. Let your breath be your teacher, your guide. Our breath always reveals our state of mind. The breath is shallow or erratic. Maybe there's a level of anxiety we'll feel. And you can just as profoundly change that with just changing the breath, by shaping the breath you want. Taking nice inhales, and the longer the exhalation, the more you're tapping into the parasympathetic nervous system to allow yourself to soften and relax and return your nervous system to more of a calm response, a relaxation response. And then gently begin to press yourself up. So don't untwist yet, press yourself up first. And then unwind the spine, turning your spine to the front. Pause here for a moment, let the shoulders be soft. With the help of your hands, bend your knees, put your feet flat on the floor. Put your blocks to the side where you can reach them pretty soon. And then eventually you're gonna come down on your back, please. So as you come down on your back, please draw both knees towards your chest. And you can have your hands on top of your kneecaps, on top of your patella. We're gonna move a little bit with our breath. This is called Apanasana. So pressing the knees away from the chest, inhale and exhale, draw the knees to your chest. And move again, let your inhalation press the knees away. Allow the movement to take the full length of inhale. And then let your exhalation bring the knees to your chest. Allow the full exhalation, draw the knees in. And again, move in and out, nice and easy. Inhale and exhale. By the way, if you're hearing a snoring, it's my dog Shanti here, so she gets really relaxed when I'm teaching yin class and she likes to fall asleep next to me. That was her again. Inhale, press the knee away. Exhale, bring the knees to your chest. And once again, inhale and exhale. And then next time, bring your feet down to the floor, please. And we're going to move through some dynamic bridge poses. Bring your heels a little bit closer to your buttocks. And as you inhale, lift the chest and lift the hips off the ground. And as you exhale, just lower the hips down one vertebrae at a time. Do it one more time. We're going to add the arms. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, lower the hips down one vertebrae at a time. Your hips are last to come down. This time, palms down. As you lift the chest up, take the arms overhead so that the back of the hands come down on the floor. And then as you exhale, lower the hips down one vertebrae at a time, nice and slowly. Begin to lower the arms down. And can you synchronize the movement where the hands touch down the floor when the hips touch down? And as you lift the hips, lift the arms, at the top of your inhalation, the hips are lifted, the back of the hands are above your head. And continue on with your breath. You can even close your eyes and make this a moving meditation. Bringing it all the way down. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Let the hands and the hips touch down at the same time. Inhale. Lift the hips all the way overhead. Touch the hands above your head. Exhale. Lower the hands down nice and slowly. So your hips have to slow down quite a bit so that your hands and hips can touch at the same time. Let's do 3 more times together. Inhaling, lifting the hips up. The arms reach overhead. Exhaling, lower the hips down. Slowly take your time and lower the hands down. And 2 more rounds together. Inhale. Go all the way up. Let the flow of breath move you. And exhale. Let the movement accompany your breath. And last one. Inhale. The hips up. The arms reach overhead. Stretch it up. And exhale. Lower the hips down as the hands come down. And then next time you come here, bring the right knee to your chest, interlace the fingers around that right shin. You can extend the left leg out if you like to, and then pause here for just a moment. Rotate that right ankle one direction, and rotate it the opposite direction. We're really going to get into the joints now, so there's a band of tissues around that ankle called the retinaculum. Really thick band of tissues to allow the feet and the ankles to support your weight all day long. So really go all the way around. Notice there's that little sticky part where the circle doesn't want to move. Make sure you go even through that sticky part. And then have your right hand on top of your shin. Release the left hand out and put it on top of your left thigh. Begin to move that right knee out to the right, almost like your leg is in tree pose. And let that right knee come all the way down to the floor. If you feel like that left hip is lifting off the ground, you can lower the left hip down. Maybe the right knee comes up a little bit. That's okay. In fact, this would be a good place to rest your right knee on top of that block so that the left hip stays down on the floor. Then you're going to reach the left arm up towards the ceiling and then above your head. And you're going to move your torso towards the right as well. So the left leg is just straight out on your mat, and then you're folding sideways towards your right knee. And you hold here. You pause here. Your right hand can rest on your belly. You can close your eyes. Just feel that nice stretch on that left side. If you like to, you can turn your gaze over to the left or to the right. See what feels good on your neck. And then nice and slowly bring the torso back to the center first. Bring the right knee back up to your chest. Now you're going to move your block to the left side of your body. And you're going to take the left hand on the outside of that right knee and let the right knee drop on top of your block. So now we want to rest here for a moment into this low twist. Make your block as high as it needs to go so that you can rest your knee on top of it. And sometimes it helps to have two blocks. You can put one block under your ankle, one block under your knee. So see what works best for you. And then reach the right arm above your head now and turn your gaze to the right or to the left, whatever works best for your neck. And just close your eyes and pause. And really breathe into that right side. Inhale, slowly come back up. Bring that right knee to your chest once again. Hug that right knee in. Pause here for a moment. Now this time point and flex the right toes, right foot. Just point it and flex it. And then as you're ready, put the right foot flat, left foot flat. Take your block and put it to actually, you can keep your block to the left side. Bring the left knee to your chest, interlace the fingers around the left shin. As you extend the right leg out, begin to rotate that left ankle. And again, see if you can take it all the way around. Really feel that big circle, the left ankle, circling all the way around. And then reverse it, reverse the circle, go in the opposite direction. And then next time, take your left hand to your left shin, take that left knee out to the left. Notice if that right hip is lifting up. So take your block or blanket or pillows and put it under your left knee so that you can, the left leg is going to be like in tree pose and your right hip is staying down on the floor. Okay? And then take the right arm above your head, inhale, and then begin to fold towards your left knee. So it's a lateral fold, it's a lateral side bend. Feel that stretch in that right side. And while you're experiencing that stretch on the right side, you're also stretching out the intercostal muscles in between the ribs. So really feel that expansion of the ribs. The ribs are actually super flexible and moving. So you want to be able to feel that expansion in between each rib, almost like one rib lifting off the another. And that expansion allows more space for the lung. Again, your head can either go to the left or the right, depending on how it feels on your neck. And gently begin to look straight up. Go ahead and move your torso back to the center first. And then bring that left knee to your chest. Your right hand is going to go to the outside of the left knee. Your block is going to go to the right side or your blanket. And then you're going to go into a twist. So the block is just so that you can rest your knee on something. If you like to, you can raise the block a little bit more or pile up more blankets. Your left arm is going to be above your head. And again, turn your head either way, whichever way feels good, or maybe you just want to look up the ceiling too. Whatever feels good. Close your eyes. And as you're ready, gently begin to bring that left knee back to your chest. Interlace your fingers again around the knee. And then here, you're going to point and flex the foot. So point the toes, flex the ankle. It's nice and easy. Inhale and exhale. And once you're ready, bring both knees to your chest. Grab the outside edges of your feet, lift the heels up towards the ceiling. You can rock a little bit side to side on your back in your happy baby pose. Nice and deep breaths. And as you're ready, roll over to one side, and you're going to press yourself all the way up to a comfortable seat. Once you come into your seat, please, take your blocks and you're gonna put both of the blocks next to each other. Or maybe if you don't have blocks, you just have blankets, pile up the blankets or pillows. You're gonna have a seat on your blocks or your structure. From here, we're gonna hold this Malasana for a little bit. So turn the toes out, your heels in. We're gonna have our elbows resting on top of our knees. And we're just gonna let the back lengthen. So again, not doing, we're just sitting here. There's absolutely nothing you need to do in this moment, but just pay attention to your breath. Take some nice deep inhales. Feel the breath traveling all the way to your tailbone. And as you exhale, feel that your hips are just expanding on your structure. And one more time, inhale and exhale. And then go ahead and sit tall, please. Bring your feet a little bit closer to each other. Lift your hips up. You're going to put the blocks to the side and just fold forward. So drop the head down. Keep the knees bent. You can let the head drop. If your hands are not touching the floor, bend the knees and rest your elbows on top of your knees. And we're just going to hold here for a minute or so. So just let your rib cage rest on top of your thighs, your elbows resting on top of the knees. Drop the head down. Imagine this head that weighs a lot is like a ripe fruit. So really let it drop. Notice if you're holding the head up, just let it drop. Shake the head side to side. Shake it, nod it yes and no. Just stay here. Stay. Pause. And as you stay here, you may notice a little bit more lengthening in the low back. One more deep inhale. And then gently begin to bring your hands down to the floor. Step your left foot back, please. Bring the left knee down to the floor. We're going to be here for a little while. So if you feel like you need to pad under that knee, please feel free to put a blanket under the left knee or a bolster under the left knee. Please take one of your blocks to the right side of your body. And then as you lift the chest up, pause here for just a moment. Let that right knee bend. Let the hips really melt down towards the floor. And you want to take that block, maybe to start up with the highest height, the largest height. And then take the left arm overhead and fold towards the right. So now not only are you getting deep into the hip flexor, but also you're stretching out the left side body. Send that left elbow up towards the ceiling. Try on this one not to twist the spine, so you're not folding forward or creating a lower back bend at all. It's all about the expansion and extension in the front side of that left side body. So we're talking about hip flexors, we're talking about the psoas muscle, we're talking about the oblique muscles, the intercostal muscles, really a whole lot here going on. You can commit to 2 minutes, please. If you need to just gently come out of the pose for just a second, you can always do that. Breathe and then go back into it. And with this particular one, especially, really just releasing and letting go is the key. Notice the shoulders, notice if they're coming up to the ears. Let the shoulders be down. And then gently, super duper slowly begin to press yourself back. Nice and slow, and then step that right knee back behind you and step the left foot forward. And take that block to the left side of your body. Come into your deep lunge. Again, if you need to pad under that right knee, feel free, please. We're going to be here for 2 minutes. So as you allow the left knee to bend a little bit deeper, you'll notice the stretch in the hip flexor a little bit more, but really just go just to the edge. So not really pushing beyond the edge yet. You just want to let the body open up slowly. Your left hand is resting on top of your block. And then you're going to reach that right arm up, right hand behind your head, and just a lateral bend to the left. And then pause. Notice if there's a little bit of a struggle with the shoulders, just allow the shoulders, tell the shoulders they don't need to get involved in this. They can just stay soft. There's really no need for the shoulders to be doing anything right now. folding towards the left. Feeling that nice stretch of the hip flexors. The psoas muscle is one of the toughest ones to really stretch. So yeah, it's almost like the need to stay here as long as necessary or as long as needed, so that the psoas can finally say, okay, I give up, I'll release it. One more deep breath in. Exhale. And then as you're ready, nice and slowly, take your time. We're not really rushing in any way. Take your hips back. Please bring your hands to the earth, or you can put your hands on top of your blocks if you have two blocks. And we're just gonna do a nice little cat-cow here with the hands on the blocks. Inhale, lift the chest, send the tailbone up. Exhale, pull the belly around the back. And then pause here for a moment in your cat position. You can sway your hips side to side and then front and back. As you go back, you may feel a little bit of a stretch in the lumbar spine. And then come back to the center, neutralize the spine. So bring the spine into neutral. Right leg goes back, take a nice deep breath in. Then cross that right leg all the way behind the left leg so that the right knee comes down to the floor behind the left knee. So you're crossing your knees. Then you're gonna lean back towards your left hip. This is when the blocks really come in handy. So if you don't have blocks, you can always just put your hands on top of your pillows or blankets. If you like to, you can come down on your elbows on top of your blocks and then press back into that left hip. And as you let the hips melt towards your heels, you can feel the stretch in the QL muscles. Drop the head down. So you notice so much of the stretch today was focused on the side body and the lumbar, or the QL muscles, the quadratus lumbar muscles and the low back, the erector spinae muscles, the back of the neck, the spaces in between the ribs. And then gently begin to come on up. Back on your hands if you're on your elbows. Take that right knee, put it next to the left knee. With your inhalation, send the left leg back behind you. And then cross that left knee all the way over to the right side of your mat. As the left knee comes down, begin to lean back. You can bring your elbows down onto your blocks or your structure if you like to. And then really lean onto that right side. Drop the head again. So much of our yin practice is also about surrendering, and it's not surrendering in a negative sense that you've given up, but it's surrendering to what your body feels right now in this moment. And then from that place of ease, moving and stretching and opening and receiving. And then super slowly come back to the center, please. Left knee goes behind, right next to the right knee. Come back to the center, neutral spine. Couple of cat-cows here. Inhale, lift the chest and the tail up. Exhale, pull the belly in round the back. Once again, inhale, lift the chest and the tail up. Exhale, pull the belly in round the back, and this time, take your hips all the way to your heels into your child's pose. So we're going to do a couple of different versions of child's pose. The first one, I'd like you to see if you can keep the knees together. And if you find the floor to be too far from you to bring your forehead down, you can pile up your pillows or blankets and just rest your forehead on top of your structure. You may also put a blanket or bolster in between the heels and the buttocks. That lifts your head up and lifts your butt up a little bit higher so you can bring the head down. Make sure your head is resting on something. So it's either on your structure, on the floor, on your hands, or on something. Your head is not just hanging in the air. And feel that slight pressure on your third eye. Close your eyes. That space in between and above the eyebrows. The chakra for inner wisdom. The ability to be intuitive. Listening to the inner voices. And again, we're not labeling any of our inner voice. No good or bad. It's just the internal wisdom that allows us to intuitively know what to do. One more deep breath in here, exhale it out. And then as you're ready, gently begin to lift the torso up. Go ahead and sit on one side, extend the legs in front. Put your blocks to the side, please. Lean back on your hands, windshield wiper your knees side to side. And then as you sit tall, pause here for a moment, extend both legs straight ahead. Inhale, lift the chest, exhale, just fold forward. You can bend the knees, but remember the intention is not to reach for your toes or your forehead touching. Just a nice gentle folding forward, and notice that my back is rounded this time. I'm just relaxing my legs, letting the toes go wide apart, dropping the chin down for just a moment. And then go ahead and raise the torso up. And my dear friends, you're ready for your final pose, Shavasana. So different options for your Shavasana. You can take a blanket, roll it up under your knees. That's always nice to have a little support for the knees. It really feels good on the low back, especially because we did so much back stretch. You can take a bolster, put it under your knees, just like so. If you have bolsters and blocks, you can create a little structure. So put the blocks parallel to each other, bolster on top of the blocks. You can also do this with a chair. So if you have a chair nearby, just bring it up, put your calves on top of your chair or your bolster. Any of those options would be great. You can take your blanket, put it on your head. So really get comfortable. It's all about, right now, it's all about just letting your body relax. Open up the palms to the side, close your eyes. Take a nice full deep breath in and then sigh it out from an open mouth. Let it go. And as you let it go, just let your body melt towards your mat. As you're ready, gently begin to deepen your breath. Draw one knee to your chest and then the other knee to your chest, please. And notice which nostril you're breathing out a little bit easier. Roll over to that side and pause for a moment. And then with this strength in your top arm, press yourself to a comfortable seat. Bringing your hands to the heart center. As always, bow down to yourself for creating this time and space to take care of your body, mind, and spirit. Thank you so much for inviting me to your home to allow me to guide you through your practice. I hope you enjoyed this practice. Have a beautiful weekend.